Good afternoon and welcome to today's special episode of the RMHC podcast that's being taken actually in the house. So welcome to our house. Today we've got a very special guest in studio. He's a legend in the house. Ntate Reggie. And the reason why we do that and that he's so endearing is because we actually exist because of him. So we celebrate his servant leadership. We celebrate his stewardship of ensuring that the house exists in South Africa. So, Ntate Reggie, thank you so much for being here with us.
Pleasure.
So before we even dive into the podcast, tell us when you're not wearing the McDonald's. I mean, I haven't introduced Ntate Reggie properly, and we'll do that. But before I do that, when you're not wearing the McDonald's owner-operator hat, what are some of the things that you enjoy doing?
During my casual time, my off time, I tend to read quite a bit. I tend to also I used to watch movies quite a bit, and I'm also quite athletic. I grew up really doing martial arts, yoga, running. So I've been quite active on that score. So even now, whenever I get a chance, I go to the gym and I do Pilates, I do yoga, I swim. And of course, as you know, I like my golf as well. So it does keep me busy. And those are my off times. And I'm trying by all means now to give time to myself. I'm starting to partition my time properly than before.
You're doing such non-familiar things like yoga and Pilates, and swimming, and I love that. I mean, I'm an avid swimmer myself. So maybe just as a form of introduction, so Ntate Reggie is the owner of the first McDonald's restaurant in South Africa, and he is the founding chairperson of Ronald McDonald House of Charities, which is the organization that we belong to, and he's responsible for ensuring that he brings RMHC in South Africa. So maybe just take us back. Who is Ntate Reggie? Where were you born? Where were you raised? And all of what are some of those things that have shaped you?
Yeah. Okay, I'll try to summarize that by all means, Matshepo. I was born actually in Manziville. It's a township in the West Rand outside Krugersdorp. In the 1960s, it was declared a white area, so we were forced to leave under the Group Areas Act. So we went to Kagiso. So most people think I'm from Kagiso, but I'm actually originally from Manziville. So I was staying with my mom and granny. And strange enough, my first language is Tswana.
Okay.
And then my second language is Zulu. But most of the time I speak Tswana. So people get confused as why you Skhosana and you speak Tswana. But that's the environment I grew up in. My granny is the one who was speaking to me in Zulu. She's the one who calls me Spiwe.
Okay.
She's the only one who calls me Spiwe. Most of the people know me by Reggie.
Yeah.
But my original name at home is Spiwe. So that I grew up from there, and then of course I went to high school at in Shanga in Natal, and then I went to University of Zululand where I did my BCom at NIM, and then I joined the bank, and then I got married, and then I was headhunted by the breweries from the bank, and I was with the breweries for about 2.5 years. Went back to the bank, and then God saw the advertisement of McDonald's coming to the country, applied, was appointed as a candidate, went to train in New Zealand with my wife, and we worked together since then. Since then in 1995. She's still with me. She's still doing the job. She's doing the admin of the operations. And she gave me actually a chance also to concentrate on RMHC. So we've got 2, a boy and a girl, and we've got 3 grandchildren. So I think I've lived my life to the full. I must say I have that satisfaction.
Yeah. And I think for me, I just also love the fact that you've been taking, your wife with you everywhere you go. As you are going up, you're bringing her along. It's a good story to tell. So, you touched a little bit on it. It's 1995.
Correct.
It's the advent of democracy. We are a new democracy. We are barely a year old.
Yeah.
You're a young person then. It's 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? And then you are their first Black owner. Maybe I must remove the Black, but you're the first owner of McDonald's restaurant in South Africa. You just happen to be Black.
Correct.
Because it could have been anybody.
Yeah.
It could have been, big named families. But it's Ntate Reggie from Manziville. So maybe just tell us, or how did you get to own it? You spoke a little bit about the application process. Mara, was it one of your dreams?
Well, not particularly being an owner of McDonald's. One of the dreams I had was to go into business. Okay. I was in a bank and I was a small business manager, and I met a lot of people who were entrepreneurs. And one of them was Mr. Lugujol, I remember, from Soweto. Mm-hmm. And he liked to say to me, Reg, you can never really fulfill your ambition being employed.
Yeah.
To get to your goals and get fulfillment and reach your full potential, you have to be self-employed. So I had that in me that eventually I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. So we did the MAP, Management Advanced Program, with VETS, and we're a group of us, and we were always talking of starting a venture. Then one of my friends brought me an application. He saw something, an advert in Soweto, saying that McDonald's is coming to the country.
Yeah.
I said, let's give it a try. Yeah. So we applied, but we were casual about it. Then I got a phone call from Obruk saying that a director from McDonald's is coming to see me. At that time, I was working for Nedbank. I was a manager in Sandton.
Okay.
So we met in Sandton. And incidentally, I was 15 minutes late for that meeting.
Sure.
I was a bit casual about it. I really never thought it was serious.
Yeah.
But during the interview, something that he said was quite interesting. He said, I did not expect that a Black man could be a manager in a white branch.
Wow.
So he said that was a big factor to him, that he had heard stories about what was happening in the country that was before apartheid. So he never thought the way Black people were advanced to that level. And then to come and find out that I was actually managing in a white branch and being a corporate manager. So he was very impressed with that.
Yeah.
And then he said, well, look, let's try this one out. I'll send you to New Zealand for a week and on OJE, just an observation job evaluation. And then you can make up your mind whether you like it or not. So I went for a week to New Zealand. I came back, went back to work. Within 3 weeks, I got a phone call. You have been selected. We're giving you 2 weeks to go and start your training.
Sure.
That is how intense.
In another country.
In another country. Yeah. We're giving you 2 weeks because now it's going to be intense. Because I had to train within 8 months to become an operator. So it was tough because then it meant I had to tell my wife, I had to resign, and we had to put monies together, which meant virtually selling all our assets. I had to sell my house and, put together all the monies that we could. Because it's an expense to train. Yeah. It's an expense also to start a venture like this. So all the little money that we had, we had to put it together. So my wife resisted initially because the parents didn't say, you can't put all eggs in one basket, guys. You can't all go and do the same thing. Yeah. But eventually she joined me with the family. And my kids, they were exposed by going to New Zealand, a different culture, different environment. It was a great experience. But we had to be here and open the first store. 11th November 1994.
November 1994.
Yeah. And it blew my mind completely because I did not expect the outcome. I knew McDonald's was a brand, but I never knew that it could be as popular as it was.
Yeah.
So what happened on the opening day, people slept there to become the first people to eat Big Mac.
I remember.
They just slept there in front.
I remember.
That was just amazing.
Yeah.
And we had also crew from New Zealand, Australia, and Egypt to come and help us.
Sure.
The numbers were so immense that I think we were the 12th or 11th busiest opening in the world.
Sure.
So it just numbers coming. I've never worked so hard in my life as the first 5 years of McDonald's. It was mind-boggling. It was so intense. And of course, I had good people. I had a director of operations who was just standing by me, helping me out, Janet Hayes Brown. I'm very grateful to her because without her, I don't think I would have survived.
Sure. I mean, I remember, I don't want to give away my age, but I remember because it was the year after the elections where, the queues were astronomical. I remember that even when the shop, the restaurant opened, the numbers were compared to the numbers when we went to vote.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was just so I'm from Pretoria, and I remember I was wishing that I could be in Johannesburg so that I can be able to come in and buy McDonald's. So I mean, so you're minding your business, you're living your good life, you own a McDonald's restaurant. Enter Ronald McDonald, House of Charities. How does that come about?
Okay. What happened is how I got exposed to Ronald RMHC is when I was training, I was training in an operator's store, Ray Stone Lake. And one day he took me to, he was also a trustee in the board of RMHC. So he took me to one of their houses and he showed me around and he said, this is what we do, when parents are coming to hospital, they've got a place to stay. Fascinating, because I said, shoot, can you imagine somebody coming from Limpopo, coming to Johannesburg, a child is referred and they have no place. I just envisaged such a situation that it happens all the time in our country. And I made it an undertaking that one day we have to open it. And I kept on asking various MDs, please, let's do it. But they kept on saying, no, we can't open it because we have not got enough restaurants yet, because it has to be supported by a number of restaurants. But fortunately, really, I must give compliment to Greg and a fellow operator who was helping me along as well, Mr. Moloko. And he just kept on helping me out and say, and don't get discouraged. And then eventually we got it to be accepted and endorsed here. That was a challenge in itself, to get it approved. But here we are. We eventually got it going. Yeah. But everything is a challenge. But I'm pleased that we have RMHC, that we can help out mothers when they're desperate.
I mean, so for me, and it's a narrative that goes around here, where we say if you're a mother and you've had an experience like this one, it's easier for you to identify the need and then say, because I suffered something like this, where I was in hospital or my child was in hospital and I didn't have anywhere to stay, when I come out of here, this is what I want to do, And so for us, just that ability that as a man, you were able to then see the need. Because right now, I mean, I think, my numbers might be incorrect, but we possibly service more than 15,000 women on an annual basis, who either are resident here in the house, where their children are receiving care at the Nelson Mandela Children's Hospital, or the mothers that we are assisting in the lactation center, go Baragwanath Hospital, and in the family rooms that we have in the Baragwanath Hospital, just to ensure that, you know, they're not worried about where they're going to sleep and what they're going to eat as their children are receiving medical care. So who influenced your leadership style over the years?
Oh, well, you know, it depends on at what station in life I was in.
Yeah.
But one person I can recall immediately really who had a huge influence on me was my teacher at Standard 5.
Okay.
It was a nun, Sister Anne.
Yeah.
She was such a strict teacher.
Grade 7 for other people.
By the way, yeah. But Standard 5, but he used to say to me, I want you to stand on your 2 feet. I want you to be a man. I like people who lead. Yeah. And I used to like Shaka Zulu, I say. Yeah. And he used to call him the Black Napoleon. So he made me start believing in myself. So he instilled that in us, you know. He liked courage, you know. So when I went to when I joined McDonald's, the person really who had also a huge influence in me was Kata Drew. He was the first MD, African American. But he said to me, Reg, you know, it's a huge jump for you. You coming from a situation where you were an employee, you are now becoming an employer. Yeah. And that is a mind shift where you used to really take instructions. Now you are giving instructions. Now you're hiring and you're firing. You are giving a lead. Yeah. So that takes a lot of courage. You have to be courageous and make that mind shift. And sometimes it's not easy. So that person really, I think, had tremendous influence in my thinking. And another one who really had another influence in my thinking was Janet Hayes Brown, who was was a director of operations. She was also African American. And she used to say, look at the bigger picture. Yeah. Don't look at the small things and get discouraged.
Down.
Yeah. You look at the bigger picture. See yourself as you've done this and you can do it. Yeah. Because at that time it was overwhelming. Yeah. You know, the job, I tell you, we were working like 3 nights without sleep. It was just so strenuous. Yeah. But he just kept me going. He said, you know what? Look at the bigger picture. So I carry along certain things that people have been saying. Yeah. Have a will, where there's a will, there is a way. All those things I carry in them. When I get discouraged, I recite them in my mind and recall what some wise people have said in the past. So that keeps me going, you know, just have a purpose in life and try to achieve something. Yeah, I think that's been an influence.
Yeah. And I mean, I like how you've been able to just identify different people at different levels in your life, you know. And even though wabona teacher wako Standard 5, even though it get that mentorship that it's undefined, you know, that we have mentors in our lives every day. It's just that because normally the idea mentorship, we want somebody to sit with us. Yeah. But we've got those people who are continually mentoring us as we go. But those 5 little words, that is stand on your own 2 feet. Yeah. You know, it even applies in real life, not just in business. You know, or in your personal life. You then have what would Shaka Zulu? What would Shaka Zulu in this moment? So the other day, when I was visiting you at the restaurant, I had the absolute privilege of meeting Ausmata, who has then been with you for the past 30 years. And incidentally, it was her birthday and we were celebrating her birthday. If she was here today, how would she describe you as a manager at the bar?
Well, you know, Martha has become part of the family, really. Just probably like other managers, we've built a relationship which is far beyond just an employee situation. She does things probably most people won't do. She carries my credit card. In other words, she does the payments, and that's how much trust I have on her. because there are certain emergencies which has to be paid immediately. And they will consult her that we need to pay this, we need to do this. So in other words, she's carrying my card. Yeah. So that's how I've become, I've come to trust her. And she's not the only one. I've got also my director, Abram is also a very, very good guy. So I've built quite a team of loyal people. And they call me Ntate, Baba. You know, it's become a very family-like type of situation. And I'm glad that we're just not working and as an employee. We've grown beyond that now. There is a spirit. We used to say it, and people don't say it much, but Sinubuntu.
Yes.
And that is what we've tried and striven to achieve in our work environment, is to see people as people, not just employees.
Yeah. I mean, so for me, just the fact that, you know, you have one of the longest serving staff members, you know, for me, even just as from a leadership perspective, you know, it says a lot that you not only have the capacity to attract people, but that you retain them and you keep them loyal to the vision, and that, you know, your success is their success. So that says a lot about your leadership. So when you think about RMHC today, what makes you proud?
Well, I think we are about 12 or 13 years now. So there's longevity there. That makes me excited. Yeah. That, you know, we've started something and it's steadily growing and solid. It's amazing. To see the staff also so happy and making a contribution to mothers and families, that makes me happy. And there's nothing as beautiful as to see mothers appreciating and saying, you know, thank you for doing this. Yeah. You know, until you've experienced RMHC, you don't appreciate it. Yeah. But you appreciate it when you've seen the transformation that it brings in families and mothers. And I've seen mothers actually coming back to make a contribution. Yes. I've seen mothers coming back to actually give their own clothes to other mothers, hold hands, and you build a community in that way. It's that small, but it grows. Yeah. You know, I have seen walking in one of the houses, a mother had lost a child, and they were holding hands and they were singing. Yeah. And then afterwards, they make contribution to this mother. And in other words, they're sharing the pain of this mother. And I said, what a fantastic thing. Yeah. You know, nobody who is outside will appreciate that beautiful experience. And, you know, the number of times I've been there to the family rooms and I see a mother who had just lost a baby, but been grateful that there are people to give her support during that critical moment. How can you explain that? How can you explain a mother who comes from Deep Sloot every morning and looking forward to go to Bara? Yeah. Because she knows that when she arrives, she'll have a cup of coffee and bread, because we provide that. There will be lunch for her. There will be company for her. There will be people she can share the sorrows with. So there are so many things you can talk about RMHC, really. Yeah. And it's not only that, it's what actually comes out of it. Because as I said, there was once a school that sent kids to come and volunteer. And I must have mentioned it was St. David's, one of the white kids. Yeah. They came and then the one of the girls picked up one of the mothers and then gave the details to her parents. And then the parents started supporting that mother. And they started looking after the child. And I know that this child is school going and they're still supporting. I share this because I said from there onwards, I shared it with the board. And I said, this is a very good story to say we can also go beyond and adopt a family. Yeah. That there is certain desperate families where we can also help. So certainly some of these thoughts and some initiatives are coming from RMHC. So that's why I say it's boundless what can come out of RMHC.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think I love that, even when you were bringing it in RMHC into South Africa, I think, some of these things that you're saying, you could never dream about them. You didn't know what they would look like. And then now they're just mind blowing. So when we look 10 years ahead, right now we've got the lactation facility, we've got the 2 family rooms, Kobara, we've got the house here in Nelson Mandela Children's Hospital. What do you wish for RMHC to see in the next 10 years?
In the next 10 years, when you talk about RMHC, everybody will know about it. I tell you now, it's going to spread, and then they'll be in hospitals and they'll actually be asking, why is there no RMHC?
Yeah.
Because of the service that you render. And they will say, but we were at Nelson Mandela Children's Hospital, we saw this.
Yeah.
Why are we not having it in Steve Biko's hospital or here? So there will be pressure that will be put on the government or on ourselves to grow.
Yeah.
So I see in the future where when we talk about RMHC, you'll be talking about something that everybody knows about it. At the moment, of course, I think we're doing far more than people realize because it's not out there in the public. But eventually it will. Good things, you can't keep them down forever.
Yes, I like that. RMHC in every academic public hospital in this country. Yeah, I like that. I like that as a tagline. So, how can ordinary people, so if you were to encourage other owner operators, if you were to encourage Corporate South Africa, other ordinary people on the street, how to, get involved and support RMHC in order for us to be able to grow, what would your encouragement be?
You see, the strangest thing is as soon as people are exposed to what you do, they get excited. And I tell you, among the operators, I've seen a lot of initiative from them. They get excited to do something. And actually, most of them would like to see RMHC opening in their provinces so that they can get directly involved. And it's exciting because here, I remember one of the operators sending his staff to come and have a look at what we do. And then afterwards, he said, what they contribute, I'll match as a contribution.
Yeah.
So you get those initiatives from the operators. And I think, there's a time when you'll be surprised by the response in terms of volunteers. Because there are people who want to make a contribution, but they're hesitant. They don't know how to come in and the likes. There will be a time when you'll get phone calls to say, can I come and do this?
Yeah.
The volunteers are a hell of a lot of them. Actually, that's how they survive overseas. They survive on volunteers because it's known. But as soon as people know what they can contribute, you'll be surprised what people can do.
Yeah. And I think, there's a number of initiatives that we've started now. We've got Volunteer Thursdays that are currently happening, and it's funny that St. David's was doing volunteer work then because they're still doing volunteer work now. So we've got a number of high schools that are coming in on Thursdays, and the students, and these days, the students are forced to have volunteer hours. So they come in here, they volunteer, they help us cook, they help us clean, they, help the mothers, they do a lot of volunteer work. And then we've got other companies that then give, we've got McCain that gives us food, we've got Twin Saver that gives us tissues, obviously we've got McDonald's, we've got Coke, that gives us drinks.
Yeah.
So there's number of ways in which corporates can get involved.
Yeah.
What I loved, something that you said around adopting a family. One of the things that we want to do is we want corporates to adopt the family rooms.
Yeah.
So we can then say, this room belongs to this corporate. This room belongs to this corporate. And then the corporate would know for every month. So there's 10 families that we are assisting,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are there any final thoughts that you wish to leave with us before we bid you goodbye?
Okay. it goes back really to your background and the likes. But I remember once when I was still in the bank, I had a guy who was reporting to me, Jabu. Jabu had a problem in expressing himself, in writing. He will analyze a balance sheet correctly, but he didn't write. The grammar was not correct. So I would correct it and I coach him and the likes. So one day he came to me and he said to me, Reggie, I pray for you every day and I want you not to change. I want you to remain and never forget where you come from. No matter what position you hold in life, never forget where you come from. I said, oof, that's heavy.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it struck to me. It says, people get to positions and they forget about other people. So whatever you achieve in life, try to pull somebody up with you. And I still feel that, it's not just a matter of gaining materially or being successful in your career. That's the call in life. That's not the only call. The other call is just to take one child and make a difference.
Yeah.
And my priest who was teaching us at high school said to me, you remember that parable of the sheep that got lost? The shepherd went to look for that only one sheep and left the rest. That's a call for you, is to go and look for that lost sheep. Yeah. So make a difference in that one soul. So that's what I'm striving for, is to make a difference in that one soul.
Yeah. Ntate Reggie, you're a legend. I get about it. We must give you your flowers when you're still alive. And I want to do it now in front of these cameras and say that you are a legend. We might not tell you that we appreciate you. We celebrate you. We think you're amazing. You're a legend. We thank you because this house and those family rooms would not exist if it wasn't for you. So when we drive and we say we want to have an RMHC facility in every hospital, I want you to remember that this is your legacy. And I want all the South Africans to also want to partner with us in ensuring that we continue the legacy that you have started. And so I thank you, even for spending so much time with us today. I know her mama ohometsi. So thank you so much for spending the time with us. Thank you so much for the work that you have done in order to ensure that we continue to exist.
Thank you, Matshepo, and let me wish you all the best, my love, the strength. You carry this torch to another level. That's what I wish for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think we can all take a leaf from Ntate Reggie's book. Young man from Manziville in the West Rand had a big dream, and he's then determined to ensure that even if he saves one soul, and this is what RMHC stands for. So partner with us, check us out on our socials, visit us on our website, and partner with us in order to make sure that we keep families together. Thank you.
Thank you.